Hey, what's up? Wow, they keep pouring in on my end. Here we go. What's up, guys?
Welcome in.
What's up? What's up? Hey, Claudia. Day one. What's going on? Lady Music, if you out there, happy belated birthday. Saludos. Yeah, no doubt. From Venezuela. Thanks. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Todo bien? ¿Todo bien? Todo bien. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Keep coming on in and we'll start the show. We have some great stuff to talk about. Of course, Thursday night is our pop culture night. So, yeah, we a little flushed out.
Yeah, it's kind of bright.
Yeah.
Maybe turn that one down. Turn this one down.
Yeah.
Oh, the dots. Yeah, there you go. That's better, but shit. Let me see.
Hey, Lay. Happy belated birthday, Lady Muse. Our day one.
Happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday to her. Everybody, make sure you show some love to Lady Muse.
If you got a Cash App, drop it in the comments.
Drop it in the comments, Lady Muse, if you want all of your people to show you some love. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking.
Is it that? Why does it look so different today?
I don't know.
It is extremely bright.
Yeah.
It ain't this, because this is all the way over here.
Well, that did something.
A little bit.
Yeah. I did something. Yeah, wow. Okay.
Turn this down a little.
Yeah, something went back. There you go. That's it. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking. CMCT _ show is where you're at on YouTube. If you're following us on YouTube, I am your host, Troy Skinner. Next to me is my co-host, the man with the plan, the only one that can stand.
Antonio Dean.
In the face of everything and anything, Antonio Dean. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We greatly appreciate you. If you were here Tuesday night, then you know our discussion was about these badass kids.
Yep.
And badass kid. Well, no, we're packed. No, 2 minutes.
It's 8:02.
But it was mute. It was kind of like under the breath. So it wasn't like Monique straight on out.
Somebody do something about these kids. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. So anyway, we had a great discussion talking about that. Tonight we're talking about pop culture. If you know anything about us, on Thursdays we discuss pop culture and what's going on in the news. So we got some great topics that we want to discuss in regards to that. You can catch us every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. on Pacific Standard Time. And we greatly appreciate everybody who tune in and watches us. And now we got some people from Venezuela. So that's love. Appreciate you guys internationally showing us some love. If you'd like to support us in any capacity, you can go to our Linktree page. I'm going to show you that in a second. Got to go to here and find it first.
God damn, that shit.
You can go to our Linktree page and donate and support. We greatly appreciate any support from anyone and everyone. Yeah, there we go. Good. We can go here. So if you're on YouTube, you can check and see our Linktree page. And here, you see, we're renovating our podcast studio, so that's kind of why we're in another location at the moment. Hopefully it won't be too much longer, but we are planning on getting back home and having it in the back cave like we normally would. You can hit us on Cash App and Venmo, Patreon. We also have YouTube. YouTube is CMCT _ show. Some of you guys like to watch us there. All of our shows are listed as well from the past. This is show 58, so we're moving on. We're going to have a show 60 next week.
Welcome in.
Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter. But Instagram also. Please sign up on our Instagram. Like and subscribe. Share our content. We really need help in the algorithm when it comes to YouTube and also on Instagram. So if you add us on Instagram, we will add you back for sure. Okay.
We might not add you back.
Here He talking about his personal page, or is he talking about the real CMT?
Our follow ratio got to be right.
Got to be right.
Yeah.
Right. So we got to have a low amount that we follow and a high amount that follows us. Okay.
But we might like some of your pictures or something.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, also here on our page, you can see all of the different information on how to follow us, our social medias, and also how you can donate, and also to support us in any capacity that you feel you're capable of doing. Tonight's show, we're going to start off on kind of where we left off about badass kids. Just for a quarter part of the show, we're going to be talking about some things in regards to what's going on in the news with kids, man. You know. And one of the things we're going to talk about, we didn't get to cover, was a story that hit about a school teacher having to, hey Scott, how you doing? What's going on, Ty?
There we go.
Having to take a phone from a student. I've seen several different events that's happened in school. We did talk about one situation that happened where he was 6'7", 6'6".
He was like 6'6",
270, 250, something like that. I'm exaggerating, but this kid was huge. Yeah, he was huge, man. And he beat that lady to take his Nintendo back from her because she confiscated his Nintendo Switch. This story here happens a lot more than what people realize. This type of stuff here, you know, where kids at school feel like they can just talk to teachers any kind of way and put their hands on these teachers. We have a very bad situation going on with the school systems now where teachers don't want to do the jobs.
Well, it's not the teachers don't want to do the jobs. They can't do the jobs because the children are unruly.
There you go. And what's the word that we used on Monday night? Incorrigible. Incorrigible. The kids are bad, man.
And right now, fucking these kids up. We had 7 later morning. I can say some shit.
You know, the kids are bad, man. And teachers are quitting. They're not signing up. They can't. You know.
Like I said, I think teaching should be a civil service. It should be considered a civil service.
I mean, they should get the highest quality and everything, man.
100% supported by the government. Should be. Are they? Well, I don't make the rules. So, teacher rules out OnlyFans after viral fight with student over confiscated cell phone. It's not what it looks like.
So if you're on YouTube, you can see the article.
It's not what it looks like.
No, definitely not.
A substitute teacher who got into a classroom fight with a student over confiscating her cell phone says she's quit her job but won't be joining OnlyFans. How unfortunate. On April 17th, a video showing North Carolina teacher Xavier. Come on, man. Why black people gotta do this?
Nigga, it's gotta be different. You know that.
Nigga, I gotta see Brandon Isha and all of that. Like, don't do that.
Sharkeisha. Yeah.
I'm saying as far as, it's clearly they tried to name her after the dad and then just threw
Avia.
You know what I'm saying? Threw the A on there on the end so it could be Xavier. Like, come on. Let's be cool. Black people, you gotta get it together. I'm just saying.
It would have been a great name, just Xavier Steele. That would have been like an MMA.
It could have been cold. You know what I'm saying?
Xavier Steele. I can
She could have pulled it off as a girl if it just had to be that.
Say it 3 times. Xavier Steele. Xavier Steele.
Exactly. Come on, man. It's sad.
Not making fun of a name. It's just, that's what they threw at us.
Man. Fuck that. On April 17th, a video showing North Carolina teacher Xavier Steele fighting with the student went viral, with the sub physically dominating her opponent. Why they put it like that? Why would they say it like that? Footage uploaded to Twitter shows the student upset at her teacher for taking her phone. She then tries to nab it back, only for the altercation to turn physical with slaps, hair pulling, punches, and even some UFC-style ground pounds. Eventually, the teacher got on top of the student and held her down while calling for help, but both parties ended up being charged, something that Steele spoke against on social media. Can we click view? Is it going? Oh, it's the. I mean, if I mute it, you know, technically we can play it. Yeah. So, if you're on YouTube, you get to see the fight. Rocky Mountain High School substitute teacher fights student over phone. This motherfucker a whole minute, 10 seconds, huh? No sound, just because, you know, copyright.
Yeah, the sound is actually what triggers the algorithm to where they.
Oh, yeah, that was a good block.
Yeah, she blocked.
That was a good block.
It's crazy, man. To see stuff like that and the disruption that it causes the whole class.
She never had to beat that little bitch.
Yeah, she did.
Is she not working?
I don't think that's what it is. I think she got on a thong. Yeah, it's a thong.
I'm about to say,
You know, she be ready, man. A lot of people go to school, they go to work ready. Yes, you just know they go to work ready.
that was good. She subdued
Going
her.
on, Christian. Yeah, she did. She held it down.
I'll give her credit for that.
She held it
She
down.
really could have just fucked her up.
Yeah, she held it down and she called for someone else to go get other teachers. And it took a while for them to even do that. You know, she's holding it down, and then the other girl was screaming at her friend saying, "Y'all gonna let her just hold me like this?"
Yeah. You're lucky she didn't really get in your ass.
Right, absolutely.
I would say she handled that quite well, actually.
She did everything that she could to prevent herself from being injured and hurt.
Persecuted and hurt and, you know, all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she did what was best for both of them, honestly. How old is the little girl?
I don't think it ever says, actually. She might have been 15.
She's been
big
teaching
15.
for 22 years, so this lady's at least in her 30s.
Yeah.
Late 30s.
Yeah.
Man. Teacher responds after fighting student in viral classroom brawl. In a video posted to social media, Steele defended her actions, saying that in her career teaching, she was never attacked by a student like that. In all my 22 years, never have I ever experienced what I experienced this Monday, she said. I've never been attacked by young folks. I love young people. This is why I work with them. I have a heart for them. That young lady attacked me and she went for blood. She did. According to Steele, there have been several incidents at the school in recent months, including a teacher having a gun pulled on her and 2 others being knocked out by kicks. Wow. That's insane. Wow. I'll tell you right now.
And if you know anything, kicks, the lower body is 3/4 of the muscle mass of the human anatomy.
Way stronger than your arms. Carries your weight around all day.
So that's why when you see these fight videos of people kicking people and stomping people, it's very dangerous, man. You know, let alone getting slapped or punched by somebody. Because you can get knocked out. A lot of these people just get knocked out.
Quickly. She continued, explaining how it's just not worth it to teach anymore with her life constantly being put in danger, with everything happening at the school. As much as I love the kids, I cannot put my life or my livelihood in danger anymore. I will be saying goodbye to this profession, she added. 22 years. What is this? Oh, probably her message or whatever.
Yeah, that's her.
Oh, nigga, that's 10 minutes. Come on. Teacher denies joining OnlyFans after melee with student. So what will she do next? When a viewer brought up the prospect of Steele joining OnlyFans, she explained why she was against the idea, even though it can be quite lucrative. Whoever these niggas are that wrote this are messy as hell, man. Niggas a little raggedy, I get it. OnlyFans is out of the question, she explained. I'm not that kind of lady. I grew up in church.
They got to do with anything.
I'm just saying. You know, I know some church folks.
Yes, sir. Some deaconesses and some,
I know some church folks.
some ushers.
I grew up in church. Luckily, the teacher will be getting some money through a GoFundMe that was created after a video ended up going viral and has raised over $10,000.
Let's click that GoFundMe. I want to see where it's going to
Where they
at
at
this
right now?
point.
Let's see.
Yes.
12,
Okay.
you know,
12,000. Right. So
sitting at 12,500.
she got half a year. She got half a year to live.
Yeah,
You
good
know,
for her, man.
Yeah. And she can
And then
get, she
they
can get
put the
unemployment.
video on there.
Yeah, she can get unemployment. Shaking my head, student. What is this? Shaking my head, student jumps on substitute teacher.
That's the title of the GoFundMe.
Derek Boo.
God damn, nigga.
Derek Boo, the Deacon Steele. That must be somebody in her family is organizing this fundraiser.
Derek Boo.
Xavier still has what is it? Good. Somebody said good evening with a GUD.
Where you see it? Where am I? Blind?
At the top, Derek Buddha, the Deacon Steele.
Oh shit! That's the person who made it, man. That's the update. Good evening. Everything lining right on up. Thanks to all those that have the heart to donate and those that donated. May your desires and prayers continue to manifest. Allow God to speak to and use you as all your dreams come true.
Hallelujah.
I guess that nigga is a deacon, ain't he?
Yeah, he's a deacon.
He's talking
Derek Buddha, Deacon Steele. Wow. Xavier Steele.
Oh shit.
Xavier. That's fine. No, we good. We back.
Yeah, so
we back.
Luckily, the teacher will be getting some money through a GoFundMe that was created after a video ended up going viral and has raised over $10,000. So
see, you know, she didn't get as much as she should have because a lot of people felt like she was wrong for actually fighting that girl.
That's insane.
Can you imagine that? They were split.
I will fuck one of these little kids up. I wish they would act up in my class. Hopefully this incident can be resolved sooner rather than later, but don't expect to see yet another teacher decide to join OnlyFans anytime soon. Come on, man. Why they do that? And they got somebody else, that must be another story, some shit than that.
Yeah, because, you know, that's been happening for a while, teachers doing OnlyFans.
I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Their income.
Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do
it. And, you know, we had a show. If you hadn't watched this previously, we had a show talking about OnlyFans. And we've had people that we've interviewed talking about OnlyFans. So you can go catch that. It's posted up on YouTube. But, yeah, that's that situation with that. I hope it all works out for her.
Yeah,
you know, she wasn't
22 years is a long time, man. She's giving up something that's really a part of her daily ritual. Yeah. It's just a part of her existence.
That's her job. Yeah. That's her, you know.
However, guys, I'm going to have to take a quick intermission because
he's got to go. See, we told him to go before the show.
I'll take a piss.
So, yeah. How do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like you're on one side or the other? Do you think the teacher was right? Or do you think the student was right? And do you think the teacher should have handled it a different way? Post all your comments. Let us know what you think. Me personally, I think that teaching is a tough gig. And I think, I've said this before, that they should end public school just for a while so parents can get an idea of what it is to have to deal with their unruly children who don't want to listen to authority, and don't want to listen to someone teaching and disrupting the class. Man, these kids are disrupting classes. So you can imagine that whole semester is going to be disrupted because they're going to be remembering it. Other teachers coming in are worried about whether they're going to have to deal with that. It's crazy, man. I remember being in school and just, if anything, enjoying learning. And you hate going, but when you're there, make the best of it. Public school is in danger. It's been in danger for a long time. Even people are telling me now private schools are having problems. Again, what did you expect? You know, you pump these kids full of horrible messages. You listen to the music, video games, Instagram, all these challenges, all this different stuff. You take away any form of morality from them. And, you know, you look at the messages being taught in movies and stuff. What do you think is going to happen? This is what we're getting. This is what we're getting. With that, we're going to go into another situation that we want to talk about once Antonio gets back here. This situation, you know, if you have kids out there, man, you need to be very mindful about your children and what they're doing. Nowadays, even the teenagers are doing horrible things, man. Very violent, horrible things towards each other. Yeah. This is the next thing that's coming up here. All right. So, what's going on, Jonathan and Dominique? this situation here, Antonio made me aware of it earlier today. It's a Facebook situation that was involved in regards to this being what it became, which is a real horrible situation. But we're going to get deep into this and talk about this. These two kids, man, and what they did. And I hopefully the article is very upfront about what actually really happened, because there's a lot to this, and there's a reason why we're bringing this up and making everybody aware of this. Because this is happening a lot more than we people realize.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Great. 2 in custody, charged with murder following shooting at Sykeston Park. Tanner Watkins and Caleb Ramsey. Very goofy looking white boys. Sykeston. 2 men are in custody, facing charges for their alleged involvement in a shooting incident that killed 1 man and seriously injured a woman Tuesday at a Sykeston Park. Tanner Watkins, 20 of Sykeston, and Caleb Michael Ramsey, 18 of Morehouse, Missouri, are each charged through Scott County with the following felonies: first-degree murder, armed criminal action, 3 counts of first-degree assault, and 4 counts of unlawful use of a weapon, according to online court records.
And we should talk about the fact that the person that they shot and killed was a young black male.
Yes, he was.
And so they should also be charged with a hate crime, because their actions were based on that of a hate crime.
Absolutely.
We've been seeing this stuff happen a lot, and a lot of times in these news reports and with the courts, they're not charging these racial crimes. They're not charging the people involved in these racial crimes with hate crimes, which, you know, it is something that's on the books that needs to be charged against these people causing these types of activities, man, these horrible activities.
Right.
You know?
I agree. On the afternoon of Tuesday, April 25th, Sykeston Department of Public Safety responded to Rotary Park, located at 300 Industrial Drive in Sykeston, in reference to reports of gunfire, according to Sergeant Taylor Rowe, Public Information Officer for Sykeston DPS. Whoa, bring it back. Officers responded to the area to investigate the incident and were able to locate the scene where the shooting took place. Officers were also able to determine that an altercation between several individuals occurred at the park, and they located and identified all people involved in the incident, Rose said. During the investigation, it was determined there were 2 victims from the shooting: an 18-year-old male who was pronounced dead at a local hospital, and an 18-year-old female who sustained life-threatening injuries and was transported for medical care. I didn't know that there was a second person that was injured, in that interaction.
White girl.
Oh, fuck it. Sykeston DPS Criminal Investigations Unit is currently investigating the incident with the assistance of the Southeast Missouri Major Case Squad. What a name. Comprised of investigators from Sykeston DPS, Missouri State Highway Patrol, Scott County Sheriff's Office, and the New Madrid County Sheriff's Office was activated. Damn, they called in the whole team.
Yeah,
Ramsey and Watkins were identified as suspects and arrested by investigators. They are currently in custody of law enforcement and being held without bond, with a court hearing set for 1 p.m. Friday, April 28th in Scott County.
Okay. And part of it is because of how egregious the crime was. They shot this boy in the face.
Oh, wow.
So that's part of the reason why that, I mean, usually when we see the disparity between blacks and whites, a lot of us are held without bond, and the white kids, that they put the trailer park, you know what I'm saying, together, and everybody get money, get them out. But no, these kids were held without bond because of what happened. You see what I'm saying? Shoot somebody in the face, man.
Yeah, that shows malice rather than just
high malice. Yeah.
Rather than just I shot this motherfucker because I shot this motherfucker or whatever.
Now I'm gonna shoot you in the face because they can't have an open casket.
Yeah, very intentional. Where we at? April 28th in Scott County. The investigation is still ongoing, and no further information is being released at this time, Rose said. The names of the victims are not being released out of respect for the families. That may be true. However, the female who was injured in Tuesday's incident is a student at Chaffee High School. Is it Chaffee?
Yeah, that's good.
While this incident did not occur on our campus, it did involve one of our students and has had an impact on our students and community. Chaffee R2 Superintendent Dr. Sean Nix said in a statement to the Standard Democrat on Thursday, April 27th. We, as a school, are here to help any student that feels the need to speak with a counselor. We are blessed with a supportive community. The Chaffee Community Care Patrol, god damn, they got names out there, boy. They done hooked all kind of shit up.
CMCT.
Yeah. The Chevy Community Care Patrol has planned a vigil for the community to come together at 6 p.m. Friday, April 28th at Circle Park. Local ministers and counselors will be on hand for anyone who would like to speak with them, the superintendent said. Nick said, as I said in an email to parents, we will work together to heal as a community.
Yeah, so like I said, part of it being that on Facebook the story is a little bit more in depth.
Right.
It is a black kid that they shot a young black male they shot in the face, and let me see something. What does that comment say? The one comment that's low, because usually it'd be a local person that a comment on it. I would give anything to have a camera to see how this boy gets done on the inside. Wow. Yeah, there's somebody that it probably hit. You know what I mean?
Close to home for them.
Yeah, because they know the full story. So basically, what happened was apparently he made a comment on Facebook. The brother,
He just laughed, reacted.
Yeah, he laughed, reacted.
He didn't say anything.
Didn't say anything, and that was their reason to want to go and kill him.
Yeah, it was to a picture of the I guess the 18-year-old attacker.
Mm-hmm.
He posted a picture of like him and some chick, goofy looking,
gangly looking.
Yeah, they was they both a little. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And old boy seen it. The young man, rest in peace to him. He seen it and he laughed, reacted, which I would have laughed. I laugh, react to white people shit on Facebook all the time.
There's all kinds of shit. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, when it's gangly looking and somebody look like they one step from looking like a meth head, sometimes that's funny.
And that's the thing, man, is I've been I surf. I don't really watch too much news, but I always look at what it is that people are saying, and one of the bigger arguments right now is the internet is not just the internet. It's a part of the real world now. People got to be more careful. All of that kind of shit. And think about that as this, in this new world where children they're not even just that they're acting it not as children. I wouldn't even say that they're acting as adults. They're completely without sense. They're nonsensical in nearly everything that they do, and then in their approach to reality, and how they process their emotions, how their decision making overall. There's no actual practicality to it, and it leads to silly shit like this. It just makes me say this, and the era that we grew up in, and we had cautionary tales and film and storybooks, and even in the sitcoms. There was once a thing. At a certain point in time where even TV shows would have lessons, written into them and hidden in them, for
guidance.
Teach us how to be with one another
better,
to
each other.
I think Friday, as silly as the movie is, it's
had
actually
lessons.
very, very cautionary. John Witherspoon had a very cautionary and enlightening moment with Craig. Obviously, not to be philosophical about Friday, but I think everybody can relate to it.
Well, every movie, every film. I mean, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But every film, up to a specific time before all of this agenda-based content, because we could say that even older films had some sense of agenda, but you knew right from wrong. You had good and bad. You didn't have this nihilistic viewpoint of how life is. Now everything is nihilism. It's
everything's driven. Something. So there's some sort of point that they want to drive home outside of just we're telling a story.
Yeah.
He had that moment, man. Him and Craig, and he's telling him, "You win some, you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another day." These kids are fucking killing each other, man.
Yeah.
Killing each other. Not saying that this was never a thing before, and that
Well, it wasn't on the grand scale that it is.
You know, people weren't hurting each other before, but goddamn, man, these kids don't give a shit about nothing.
Yeah, you were a different sort if you did that. You just like you said, man, rebels without causes.
Rebels without causes, 100%. You know, this was something so simple. It was like, well, all you had to do was log off. You know, then it would have never been a problem.
Yeah, but
it's
goddamn,
man,
can't. You know what I'm saying?
that means they don't respect life in any capacity. It had nothing to do with whether it was the internet or they was at the library or seen each other in passing, and maybe he would have giggled. You know what I'm saying? They have zero respect for life in itself, or if any respect, it's very little.
Yeah,
very little. You know?
Yeah, we don't have people like ourselves, man, who care about the community or society and the well-being of others. A lot of people nowadays, and I get it, man, everybody's looking to survive and do what they got to do, but these people that's going above and beyond to do these heinous crimes and to treat people a certain way,
right?
I mean, that's when you have to really start being questionable about, you know, what's going on. You have to really be strong in your reasoning of who you're dealing with or how you protect yourself. And the point that I wanted to make was that with this, young black males are very comfortable. They're way too comfortable, in my opinion. There's a point
operating in the world.
Yeah, because they don't realize that they are threatened.
They're targets.
They're targets. Would these boys have done that to another white boy? Probably not. Probably not.
I'd like to know how the white girl got hurt. I'm assuming that was like, you know, just proximity.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, to see this type of stuff, you know, you brothers, man, who are paying attention to the show tonight, y'all better get more into your form of defense. You know, your form of discipline, your form of defense.
Learning to capitalize on your awareness, to maximize your awareness, and capitalize on it. How to defend yourself.
Yeah, not saying that we're blaming the young brother because, you know, you know, people laugh at me all the time on Instagram and Facebook and stuff and say stupid stuff to me. I don't, you know, whether I get triggered or not, I'm never at a point where I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna do something to them, you know, or feel like, to feel like they're gonna do that to me, which would be a mistake. But
well, it used to be a thing too, man. Where, you know, people would have their disagreements and then fight, and after the fight, they damn near more than likely will shake hands and become friends after that. We settled our differences. It's, you know, life is bigger than this moment.
Then a disagreement.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, hell, if countries could go to war and then, you know what I'm saying? Sign treaties and then years later, you know, work with each other.
Be trading and all kind of shit, you know. It's just, it is unfortunate, man. You know, I'm sorry for that young man and his family, man. Definitely should not have went that way.
Yeah. To lose your life in your teens. You know, you're not even a full-fledged man yet.
Because of Facebook.
Because of Facebook.
So.
Yeah, well, not because of Facebook, because of people holding
Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, because again, that could have happened anywhere. You know, he might have felt that way about him, how he reacted to seeing, you know, him and his young lady, his counterpart or whatever. So ain't no telling, man.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So we have another situation. We want to first, let's go to everybody. You know, knock that out. Well, let's go to Jerry Springer because that brings that into effect. You know what I mean? Because you got to understand, and I've been saying this for a long time. I mean, everything that I do as a filmmaker in regards to the work that I do is to show black people in a different light. Because when you travel out the country, you see that media is a very strong, profound sense of what people judge black Americans by. Media. The way they see us in media is the way they see us in how they receive us. So, you know, Jerry Springer died today.
Yep, he died.
79 years old. He's been fighting cancer for a while. And to say that this man did not have a big, profound effect on the black community, would be a lie.
Way to put it.
It'd be a lie. He did. He had a huge effect. And look, it even says under there, Jerry Springer asked if he was ashamed about his show. Now,
they've asked him that plenty of times.
Yeah, when someone asks you a question about are you ashamed of something you've done,
that means it's something to be shameful
it's something to be shameful about. That's something that people don't realize about that. You know, before Jerry Springer, you had other talk shows. Yes, you had like Ricky Lake, you had Jenny Craig. You had who else? There was somebody. You had Donahue. Mm-hmm. You had Geraldo, right? Montel, who came later. He was the only representation other than Oprah Winfrey of the black perspective on television. Montel did not play that. He did not play that. He was one of
he had a very respectful show.
Yeah. He's one of the angry black uncles, you know. Yeah. Even though he was married to a white woman and he would have to fight that. Yeah, he had to fight that too. But anyway, Jerry Springer came along and changed it all. Changed it all because usually on talk shows people didn't fight. And if it got close to that, they shut it down. They went to a commercial break.
Right.
Jerry Springer show
televised the chaos.
Man. Chaos.
And very soon after.
Sally Jesse, Claudia, very good. She remembers Sally Jesse Raphael. Yep. That was another show. But Jerry Springer capitalized off the madness.
Well, Jerry Springer was the inception of trash TV.
Yes.
Where they televised chaos.
Yes.
Yes. They understood that it, what did I say? Controversy creates cash.
Yes. And of course, as we always said, the group of people, the community that people always use to popularize anything, to have a long-standing effect on people, to get people moving in a specific direction, black people.
Every time.
He used us. He used us. What's going on, Giovanna? He used us in such a way that there was no going back.
Nope. We were the face of it, as usual.
The face of baby mama drama. Mm-hmm. The face of crazy tranny stuff. Right? The face of
family turmoil.
The family turmoil, deadbeat dads, who is the father before Maury. Mm-hmm. It was all on Jerry Springer. All of it. Anything that you could think of, fighting on the show, disrespecting your parents. Mm-hmm. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on.
The argument, I've seen a lot today. Well, he had crazy white people on there too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But who helped make all of the crazy shit? Who spearheaded it?
Right.
They used us, man. Whether that was black on black or black on white, mm-hmm. Mexican on white, mm-hmm. and they use ethnic people, man.
Yeah, there was a point, in the beginning it was shocking and it was humorous and it was engaging because we never saw anything like that. And I think a lot of people got caught up in it. But after a while, when you start to recognize what was happening.
Well, they didn't realize what it was leading to.
No, I don't think they did realize it. And so people are applauding him. Even my brother, man, he was like, man, yeah, Jerry, man. I'm like, no.
Fuck that one.
No. Where you guys would, even our community would applaud this man, mm-hmm. but look down on Kevin Samuels, someone who was saying, hold yourself accountable. Pick yourself up.
Be realistic.
Be realistic in your objectives and your desires and what you need from your community and what you want to get.
Identify them and actually do something.
Yeah. No. They this man died and they're applauding.
Niggas is about to throw a parade.
Yeah, for Jerry Springer. But when Kevin died, women were happy he died. Black women.
Mm-hmm. They was making sandwiches and all kinds
mm-hmm.
of shit.
Spitting on his grave, pissing if they could. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to talk about that because in reality, he did a lot of damage. He did a lot of damage.
Well, he was damaging, not only to the black community, man, but, he turned the tide for all the television and programming.
Yeah, he did.
You know,
he did.
Because look at nigga hoes in Atlanta, tramps of the NBA or whatever, you know, whatever the fuck all these stupid ass shows are. You know what they are. I don't know. I don't know what I would call bad girls club and all of that kind of stupid shit.
When Jerry started, Maury was a lot more of a
family,
a professional, and you know, and
it was geared towards therapy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Supposed to be therapeutic.
And then he saw what Jerry was doing, and saw all of the promise that came from that. He switched his whole format over.
Absolutely.
And you know, so they say that Jerry Springer's the godfather of reality TV.
He is.
Wow.
Trash ass reality television.
Right.
The inception of depicting us as fucking buffoons and heathens. You know? And that's the truth of the matter. And it's unfortunate. A lot of us black people, you know, I don't think we're seeing it for what it actually is, man. We're celebrating this you know, this chaos, this treating it as more of a tragedy than it actually is. Either way, let's get the chop in this fable. Jerry Springer, era-defining TV host, dies aged 79. God damn, they made that small. Let's get in on that a little more. Fucking every autumn Dutchman looked like this motherfucker. Jerry Springer looking motherfuckers over there. You know. Jerry Springer, the TV presenter best known for his raucous talk shows, has died age 79. The Jerry Springer Show, which ran for nearly 3 decades from 1991, brought fights, flying chairs, and the fringes of U.S. society to a global audience. Was this show still going on? Like today? I don't know that. Is it still trifling? More than likely. I doubt that he changed the format just because it was a new decade.
It was bad, man. Springer
died peacefully. There you go. Rhetoric. On Thursday at his home in Chicago. His publicist confirmed to BBC News. Gene Galvin, a friend of Springer's and spokesman for the family, described him as irreplaceable. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Jerry's ability to connect with people was at the heart of his success in everything he tried, whether that was politics, broadcasting, or just joking with people on the street who wanted a photo or a word, he said. Yes, he was so innocent.
Right.
Peaceful Dutchman, he was. He's irreplaceable, and his loss hurts immensely. But memories of his intellect, heart, and humor will live on.
No, not really.
The Springer's Chat Show became a symbol of lowbrow television over the course of almost 5,000 episodes, with its chaotic confrontations, swearing, and infidelity revelations. But this is the thing about this kind of shit. I put this in the same category as shit like OnlyFans and you know, being an Instagram model and, you know, exposing your body to the world. People sharing too much on the internet, exposing things about their personal life and, you know, their private affairs, and sharing it with the world and acting a fool. People on the internet beating their kids, and, you know, all of this crazy shit. You know, when you're in your 80s, man, what are they gonna say about you?
Right.
When it's time for you to go, whenever that is.
Right. Because a lot of that is made up. You know, a lot of people did not like him. Also, you know, when you're talking about this show, a lot of it was written.
It was scripted.
It was scripted. It wasn't real scenarios so much. You know,
the majority of reality television is written. It's not, you know, off the cuff. As people like, you know, people get real invested in the lives and doings of these people, but this shit's not even real, man.
Of reality.
It's orchestrated just like everything else on television. You know. But yeah, so, you know, just think about the shit that you're putting out there, man, and what it is that you're allowing the world to see of you. Because someday, I don't know how many of y'all niggas are gonna get articles written about you, but you got family members and
the obituary.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to read this about you, and they're gonna say something. You wanted to say Springer's Chat Show became a symbol of lowbrow television. A symbol of lowbrow television. That's not that. You know, he wrote it very well to where it
Right,
doesn't sound
right.
terrible.
Yeah, he's not being disrespectful,
But he's actually saying something pretty harsh here.
because it's true.
Lowbrow television. That means that shit was garbage. Trailer park, ghetto, whatever words you want to throw at it. That's what it means. Lowbrow television over the course of almost 5,000 episodes.
That's crazy.
With its chaotic confrontation, swearing, and infidelity revelations. It's a good writer.
Right.
He makes it a lot less harsh than it actually is. But the shit is garbage. Fellow chat show host Ricky Lake led the tributes on social media, writing, "Just waking to the very sad news of the passing of my longtime talk show rival and friend Jerry Springer. A lovely man, may he rest in peace."
Is it one or the other, Ricky? He's he a rival or is he
that sounds like show business.
Yeah, it is.
Her
Absolutely. That's
PR
why I
team
laugh.
probably fucking wrote that. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure she gets, she's attached to it.
Yeah, Ricky, I remember her show, and I remember when it ended, and she did her best to not go where he went. I mean, for a time, she would push
She kept it as...
Yeah, and I guess she realized, I can't do this.
Yeah, they say it was because she got pregnant or whatever, but I think she knew...
Yeah.
I guarantee it came down to a thing of morality, probably with her network. And she was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that, yeah.
Because someday,
Yeah.
she's going to pass.
Yeah.
And what are they going to say? Are they going to write, this bitch had raggedy-ass
Right.
TV for
Right.
almost 5,000 episodes, just as bad as Jerry Springer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Is that what you want them to say about you?
Right.
I don't know. You got to ask those questions. When you are putting these things out in the world about yourself, sharing that much of yourself with the public. A lovely man, may he rest in peace. Broadcasters Piers Morgan described Springer as a TV icon and such an intelligent, warm, funny man. Loved working with him on AGT, America's Got Talent. Loved hanging out with him. We lived in the same hotel for 2 years. Loved arguing with him. He loved his politics. Loved everything about him, he added. Of course she did. Look at this nigga standing there while they back there acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? If you on YouTube, you'll see Jerry Springer proud as hell. Look at these motherfuckers back here tripping.
It was bad, man.
You know, this
and
nigga
and the crowd screaming Jerry.
crazy.
I remember that.
Springer was born. How did I know it? Didn't I say Dutchman? Springer was born in the London Underground station of Highgate in 1944 in World War II. His parents, who were Jewish refugees from a region of Germany, which is now part of Poland, were in the station sheltering from a German bombing raid at the time. Springer moved to Queens, New York, aged 4, along with his parents and older sister. He started his professional life working in politics, having studied both political science and law at university. He was an advisor to Robert F. Kennedy, didn't know that, and served as mayor of Cincinnati from 1977 to 1978, but after a failed bid to become governor of Ohio, he switched to a career in TV journalism. Journalism is really stretching. He became a reporter at a local TV station and worked his way up to being an anchor. Launched in 1991, The Jerry Springer Show began life as an ordinary talk show focusing on social issues and U.S. politics, led by the then mild-mannered Springer. But in an effort to boost ratings, Springer switched things up dramatically after a few years, focusing on salacious and outrageous content. Springer repeatedly defended his show against accusations it was too lowbrow. He told the BBC in 2014, "You can decide only to put well-scrubbed, wealthy people who speak the Queen's English on television, and just do that, but that wouldn't reflect the whole society." Very political. That was very politically correct. "If all shows were like mine, that would be wrong. But you can't just have television that is like Friends, Seinfeld, all these wealthy people, good-looking people, and you love it."
Wow.
He added.
Wow.
I mean, you know, he's expressing his evil white man, that inner evil white man. You know what I'm saying? He letting it out. I get it. On air fist fights. Oh wait, did I go too far?
If some
Okay. If some wealthy, famous person goes on television and talks about who he or she has been sleeping with, we can't get enough of it. We cheer them. But if it's some person of low income, all of a sudden we say trash. I mean, he's not wrong about that. On-air fistfights, fetishes, and raucous crowds. In most episodes, guests came to talk about family problems and expose adultery and other transgressions. Springer would supposedly try to mediate, but the encounters often ended up in fistfights, with guests being held back by security guards. The audience would regularly chant, "Jerry, Jerry," when tensions became heightened during the episodes. On his Twitter profile, Springer jokingly declared himself as talk show host, ringmaster of Civilization's End. Wow. Jesus.
Wow.
God damn. That was evil, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was very evil white man. I'm gonna read that again. On his Twitter profile, Springer jokingly declared himself as talk show host, ringmaster of Civilization's End. Springer called this program escapist entertainment, but others saw the show as contributing to a dumbing down of television and a decline in social values. I don't disagree. He often jokingly told people he met that his wish for them was, "May you never be on my show." Jesus. I'm telling you, he knew he was an evil white man. He embraced the hell out of that. Dutch motherfucker. In the late 1990s, the show topped the daytime television ratings in the U.S., beating even Oprah. It ended its run in 2018 after viewing figures declined. That's surprising. Well, I guess they didn't see everything. And now social media is Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, it's not shocking anymore. It wasn't shocking
it's normal
anymore. It was normalized.
Yeah, very commonplace.
He did his job, pretty much.
In 2003, a musical based on the chaotic TV series was launched. Jerry Springer, the opera, ran for 609 performances in London from April 2003 to February 2005, before touring the UK in 2006. That's insane. It won 4 Olivier Awards. Yeah. It won 4 Olivier Awards, including Best New Musical. In January 2005, its UK television broadcast on BBC Two attracted 55,000 complaints. Wow. Jerry Springer, the opera, provoked accusations of blasphemy and protests from religious campaigners. But broadcast regulator Ofcom? Oh yeah, man. Listen. Said it did not breach its guidelines. From 2007 to 2008, Springer hosted America's Got Talent, and in recent years he fronted the courtroom show Judge Jerry. I heard about that shit. I bet that show was trifling as hell. In June 2009, what the fuck is this nigga wearing? A ladybug suit?
Yep.
Tripping. And in June 2009, Springer made his stage debut as Billy Flynn in Chicago at the Cambridge Theatre, London. Springer also appeared on the BBC's Who Do You Think You Are program, tracing his family through the Holocaust to the small town of Nutstetten, which is now in Poland. Yeah, that's definitely a Dutch motherfucker. Look at it. In October, Springer starred in the U.S. version of The Masked Singer, one of his final TV appearances. He had stepped down from the Jerry Springer podcast after 8 years in December. Didn't know he had that. Political commentator David Axelrod tweeted, "Jerry Springer will be remembered as the ringmaster of an embarrassing tabloid-style TV show. But I met him earlier when he was a mayor, an insurgent progressive candidate for governor of Ohio in a race I covered. He was funny, self-effacing, and incisive." YouTuber KSI said, "Rest in peace, Jerry Springer. You made my off days at school so much more entertaining." That's a fucking teenager. TV presenter Matthew Wright recalled how he went to see Jerry Springer, the opera, with Jerry Springer, who loved every second, adding, "Top fella, a great deputy on Channel 5 show The Right Stuff. Hope he rests in peace." Springer's family asked that in lieu of flowers, people should make a donation or an act of kindness to someone in need or a worthy advocacy organization in tribute to the way Springer would sign off from his talk shows. Take care of yourself and each other.
That was the biggest contradiction.
Yeah, it was definitely a con. Absolutely a con.
Well, he did something in order to make himself feel better because he knew it was trash.
Because he knew that shit was garbage, nigga. And honestly, it probably went against his own morals.
Yeah.
But, you know, some people's morality has a price.
Yeah.
And for him, I'm sure this motherfucker was stinking rich. They said he was Jewish, you know. I'm sure they're definitely not hurting. Fuck you. All y'all niggas out there crying because this food done died.
Right.
Get over it.
Right.
You know, mourn someone like Kevin Samuels who wanted to help better impact and reshape and reform your community. Someone who wanted to bring us all together. You know,
hold us accountable,
help fix what it is that we've fallen into.
That's broken in the community.
You know,
Harry Belafonte,
yes, sir,
who was an advocate and someone very big on helping the community, black community. You know, he passed away as well. So we're showing the contrast. I mean, you know,
sure.
Here at CMCT, we always like to give one side and then the other side contrasting views, the different ideologies of what we see in the world. Harry Belafonte was 96 years old, man.
Yeah.
And he was an activist all the way up to the end of his death. He was there for a lot of different things that happened.
A lot of shit in Black history.
A lot. And
now really quick.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
If I may. Yeah. I think now is an excellent time for you to replug the show.
Okay.
And the link tree, because I gotta take a piss.
Okay.
That's what it is.
This man's been drinking a lot of water lately, so
look,
that's what's going on.
We at the halftime mark, so I'll be right back.
No problem. No problem. So once again, guys, if you're joining us on Instagram and would like to donate to us, you can go to the CMCT_show page on Instagram, and at the top of the page, if you add us, you'll see top of the page. You'll see a link, the Linktree link, which will take you to the different things that we have in regards to being able to support us and to keep us moving. If you'd like to help us out, we have renovation issues that we're looking to curtail at our podcast studio to get us back in there. And you can also book our services. And here, if you see the services, you can see that we have different things that we're offering. Okay, for $20, you can get a personalized video message, 2 minutes. For $100, a therapeutic venting session for an hour. So you guys out there, you want to talk about something and you want to get something off your chest, you can have me or Antonio for an hour on the phone or on Zoom talking about what you need to talk about and get off your chest. $150, a 20-minute interview on the CMCT podcast. And that's something that we also offer as well. Edited for you to your liking and made. So yeah, if you can help in any way, we appreciate it. If you like our show, make sure you go to YouTube and like, share, subscribe. We greatly would appreciate it. On my end, guys, this is about to cut off, so just make sure you find me again, and I'll add you right back in regards to being able to stay up with what we got going on for the rest of the show for the next hour. So until I figure this out, again, if you remember at the very beginning of how we started CMCT, we had this issue in regards to Instagram, but I'm back at that again, unfortunately. So make sure if it cuts off, you find me again, and stay with us as we finish out the show on the next hour, top of the hour. All right,
really quick. 4 generations of kings. Shout out to my cousin Matt.
Yes.
They're out there doing great things in Sacramento, California. Pacific Sunrise is their Instagram. So, you know, if you'd like to get some merch, head on over there. Pacific Sunrise on Instagram. Get you some shirts. They got sweatshirts and hats and all kind of
hoodies.
Shit.
Yeah.
4 generations of kings. It's his father, his son. His grandfather, his father, him, his son, and his grandson.
That's awesome.
So it's actually 5 generations.
And the shirt keeps his composure. It's well made, actually.
Yeah.
I've watched mine.
Yeah, these are really good quality.
Yeah, fits good too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Made for a king.
Absolutely.
All right.
Just a moment. My man is over here. You know what I'm saying?
Back
Dealing
on.
with technical difficulties.
Back on.
just a moment. Dope. All right, guys. Give them a second.
Nah, they'll jump in. Let's keep everybody else moving.
Everybody catch up.
Quick tribute to Harry Belafonte. Dale! Daylight come and me want to go home.
Sure. I don't have the enthusiasm for shit like that.
Oh man, when he passed, my mom, "Can you Harry Belafonte down?" I said, "Yeah, ma, I saw it." And she said, "Dale." I said, "Dale." Daylight come.
Shout out to her too, man.
Very talented man.
Yes, he was.
Very talented man. Was featured in Eartha Kitt's book. He said some things that he said.
They both said a lot of things
about
you
know.
Well, mostly her saying shit about him.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. We got some of that going on in the comments right now, actually.
Mm-hmm. What are they saying? It's Lay?
Well, Lay the Muse, he broke a lot of black women's hearts. Wouldn't let that shit happen to me though. Blah blah blah.
You're the heartbreaker, Lay. So hey, that's how it works.
Oh shit! I accidentally closed my live. I think. Did I? No. Oh, because I switched over to yours. I was like, what the hell? Okay. But yeah, nah, so, what else she say? He loves white women. I shed no tears. Great actor, though. I mean, I definitely didn't cry. And he definitely preferred white women. And I don't respect that.
It's always, to me, such a conflict in a sense where it's like, all right, that's your thought process, but you're an activist for your culture. It's like I don't understand.
I personally don't think that the two can mix.
No, I don't.
Bullshit.
I don't.
Not long term.
Mm-hmm.
But I did say I don't believe in Hollywood heartbreak. They're all liars and swingers. So who cares?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All them niggas is fake.
Yeah.
None of the relationships are real.
No.
Yeah. Any event, I think we got enough. Everybody ready? Let's do it. Rocket ship taking off. Harry Belafonte, singer, actor, and tireless activist, dies aged 96.
That's a long life, man.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty decent.
That's quite a few decades.
Mm-hmm.
Chart-topping calypso singer who supported U.S. civil rights. Are we gonna do this?
They're gonna do that. You should know that.
Are we gonna do this?
Yeah, of course they're gonna do that.
U.S. civil rights?
Sure. Black rights. What's that?
Come on. Anyway. Who supported black civil rights movement and African initiatives, dies of congestive heart failure. Man, this nigga's 96. Just say he died.
Right.
Like if he didn't have, heart problems, the motherfucker would have lived another 15, 20 years. Come on, man. Harry Belafonte, the singer, actor, and civil rights activist who broke down racial barriers, has died aged 96. As well as performing global hits such as Day-O, the Banana Boat song, winning a Tony Award for acting and appearing in numerous feature films, Belafonte spent his life fighting for a variety of causes. He bankrolled numerous 1960s initiatives to bring civil rights to black Americans, campaigned against poverty, apartheid, and AIDS in Africa, and supported left-wing political figures such as Cuba's Fidel Castro, and Venezuela's Hugo Chavez. The cause of death was congestive heart failure, his spokesman told the New York Times. Figures including Joe Biden, please, why do they always gotta throw this nigga in there, man?
Gotta be first.
Jesus. Like he didn't care about that shit.
Less.
You know what I'm saying?
He was like, who? When he died.
Man, yeah, like come on, man. That nigga can barely remember his speech, Figures including Joe Biden, the rapper Ice Cube, and Mia Farrow paid tribute to Belafonte. The U.S. president said Belafonte, come on. The U.S. president said Belafonte was a groundbreaking American who used his talent and voice to help redeem the soul of our nation. You think Joe Biden is in his study right now, in tears, listening to the Banana Boat joint, you know what I'm saying? Him and his white wife cuddled up, shedding tears over this nigga. I bet you they are. Right at the White House. Groundbreaking American who used his talent and voice to help redeem the soul of our nation.
Yeah.
Harry Belafonte's accomplishments are legendary, and his legacy of outspoken advocacy, compassion, and respect for dignity will endure forever, Biden said on Twitter. Yeah. Joe Biden writes all of his own tweets.
Right. Can't remember what he did in the last minute.
You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. news anchor Christiane
Amanpour
tweeted that he inspired. I thought that was a bitch's name. That he inspired generations around the world in the struggle for nonviolent resistance, justice, and change. We need this example now more than ever. Bernice King, daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King, shared a picture of Belafonte at her father's funeral and said that he showed up for my family in very compassionate ways. In fact, he paid for the babysitter for me and my siblings. The Beninese French musician Angelique Kidjo called Belafonte the brightest star in every sense of that word. Your passion, love, knowledge, and respect for Africa was unlimited. Belafonte was born in 1927 in working-class Harlem, New York, and spent 8 years of his childhood in his impoverished parents' native Jamaica.
It's always funny that they always say
they gotta throw all of that shit.
Yeah, but he was born in Harlem. Like bottom line,
nigga was a nigga, man.
Yeah, bottom line.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Spent
Spent 8 years of his childhood in his impoverished parents' native Jamaica.
He returned to New York for high school, but struggled with dyslexia and dropped out in his early teens. He took odd jobs working in markets and the city's garment district, and then signed up to the U.S. Navy aged 17 in March 1944, working as a munitions loader at a base in New Jersey.
Man, an interesting life, boy.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something interesting. A lot of the black figures from that time were all Navy men.
Mm-hmm.
Navy men.
Yeah.
Specifically the Navy.
Mm-hmm. Well, because
whatever the correlation.
The Navy was really one of the only places that they respected them. They didn't respect them in any other place.
Yeah.
You know, the Navy.
Because they worked ports and you know
and cooked.
Yeah.
Swapped the deck and cooked. So they respected them to that extent.
Because that was the whole migration of Southern men and women, Southern black men and women up to the northwest, was to go work the ports for the Navy. After the war ended, he worked as a janitor's assistant. What the fuck is a janitor's assistant?
I mean, that's crazy that they would come out of the military and that's the only job.
Yeah.
Porters and janitors.
A janitor's assistant.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even the janitor. He's a janitor's assistant. But aspired to become an actor after watching plays at New York's American Negro Theater, along with fellow aspiring actor Sidney Poitier. That's my nigga right there. He took acting classes, where his classmates included Marlon Brando and Walter Matthau.
Walter Matthau.
Paid for by singing folk, pop, and jazz numbers at New York's club gigs, where he was backed by groups whose members included Miles Davis and Charlie Parker. He released his debut album in 1954, a collection of traditional folk songs. His second album, Belafonte, was the first #1 in the new U.S. Billboard album chart in March 1956, but its success was outdone by his third album the following year, Calypso, featuring songs from his Jamaican heritage. It brought the feel-good Calypso style to many Americans for the first time and became the first album to sell more than 1 million copies in the U.S. Didn't know that. The lead track was Day-O, the Banana Boat song, a signature song for Belafonte. It spent 18 weeks in the UK singles chart. That's pretty big for that time in the UK, shit. Including 3 weeks at #2. His version of Mary's Boy Child was a UK chart topper later that year, while Island in the Sun reaches #3. He released 30 studio albums, plus collaborative albums with Nana, Jesus, you know who that is?
No, Mouskouri.
Nana Mouskouri, Lena Horne, and Miriam Makeba. The latter release won him one of his 2 Grammy Awards. He was later awarded a Lifetime Achievement Grammy and the Academy's President's Merit Award. Maybe he was friends with the president. That's what it says. I guess I mistook that, didn't I? Bob Dylan's first recording, Playing Harmonica, was on Belafonte's 1962 album Midnight Special. The previous year, Belafonte had been hired by Frank Sinatra to perform at John F. Kennedy's presidential inauguration. Belafonte maintained an acting career alongside music, winning a Tony Award in 1954 for his appearance in the musical revue show John Murray Anderson's Almanac, and appearing in several films, most notably as one of the leads in Island in the Sun, along with James Mason, Joan Fontaine, and Joan Collins, with whom he had an affair. Come on, blood. Why would they do that shit? God damn. Why would they do that? He was twice paired with Dorothy Dandridge and Carmen Jones and Bright Road, but he turned down a third film, an adaptation of Porgy and Bess, which he found racially demeaning.
That's crazy.
Yes, let's follow up his affair with what he found to be morally improper.
Right.
Question this nigga's morality. You know what I'm saying? And then they have a picture if you're on YouTube. It says, "A lifetime of activism, Belafonte with Martin Luther King Jr."
Suits were sharp back in them days.
Yeah, it was. Hell of a handshake I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's a man's handshake. They don't have those anymore. You know that.
So, he later said the decision helped fuel the rebel spirit that was brewing in him, a spirit he parlayed into a lifetime of activism, using his newfound wealth to fund various initiatives. He was mentored by Martin Luther King Jr. and Paul Robeson, and bailed King out of a Birmingham, Alabama jail in 1963, as well as co-organizing the March on Washington that culminated in King's I Have a Dream speech. He also funded the Freedom Riders, an SNCC activists fighting unlawful segregation in the American South, and worked on voter registration drives. He later focused on a series of African initiatives. He organized the All-Star Charity Record, We Are the World, raising more than $63 million for famine relief, and his 1988 album, Paradise in Gazankulu, protested against apartheid in South Africa. He was appointed a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador in 1987, and later campaigned to eradicate AIDS from Africa. That shit was so fake. After recovering from prostate cancer in 1996, he advocated for awareness of the disease. He was a fierce proponent of left-wing politics, criticizing hawkish U.S. foreign policy, campaigning against nuclear armament, and meeting with both Castro and Chavez. At the meeting with Chavez in 2006, he described U.S. President George W. Bush as the greatest terrorist in the world. Yes, he was. He most certainly was. He was a frequent critic of Democrats, particularly Barack Obama. Oh, wait, did I skip? Hold on.
Yeah.
Go back up.
He also characterized Bush's black secretary.
He also characterized Bush's black secretaries of state, Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice. If you know them niggas.
Yeah, right.
You know, the new Jesse Jackson and you know what I'm saying?
Kamala Harris.
As being like slaves who worked in their master's house rather than in the fields. Criticisms that Powell and Rice rejected. Sure they did. That's what coons are supposed to do. He was a frequent critic of Democrats, particularly Barack Obama, over issues including Guantanamo Bay, detentions, and the fight against right-wing extremism. He criticized Jay-Z and Beyonce in 2012 for having turned their back on social responsibility. Give me Bruce Springsteen, and now you're talking. I really think he is black. I don't take it that far, but I get what he's getting at.
Getting older, man.
Yeah. Jay-Z responded, "You're this civil rights activist and you just bigged up the white guy against me in the white media. That was just the wrong way to go about it." And I don't disagree with that. They definitely could have had a private conversation. You should have attempted to mentor him, if anything. Which, I mean, we don't know what went on behind the scenes, but black people, please handle our affairs privately. Okay? He continued to take occasional acting roles. In 2018, he appeared in the Spike Lee movie Black Klansman. In 2014, 12 Years a Slave director Steve McQueen announced he was working with Belafonte on a film about Paul Robeson, though it wasn't developed. Belafonte was married 3 times. First to Marguerite Byrd from 1948 to 1957, with whom he had 2 daughters, activist Adrian and actor Shari. He had 2 further children with his second wife, Julie Robeson, actor Gina, and music producer David. Oh, his kids. I was like, wait, he had a relationship with a nigga named David? You never know. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, he and Robinson divorced after 47 years, and in 2008 he married Pamela Frank, who survives him. and then that's their
That's that,
closing.
Yeah. There was a lot of mention of Paul Robeson in there. Yeah, right. There's a lot of mention of Paul Robeson.
Yeah.
We he's an unsung person, and he did a lot of things to break barriers.
Absolutely.
For Black people. So when you hear certain names continuously spoken about, he probably couldn't get it off the ground, but now that he's gone, it will get off the ground because it won't be told correctly.
Sure.
He was probably because he was
holding on to actual history.
You got it, and so now they can do whatever they want to do with it, pretty much.
They're gonna insert their agendas. It's gonna be gay and all kinds of stuff.
Sure. Find stuff that never existed. Shout out to Harry Belafonte, man, in regards to all his accomplishments. Reason why we're talking about it, as men, as Black men, we're very big on contribution that other men make to the Black community and to the world, man, because that's really what you want. You want to be able to be remembered by your achievements. You leave your legacy in two different ways as a man. You leave once through having children, and the second one through what you've accomplished in life. Yeah, the woman that...
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up real quick.
Sure, let's get into it.
Dirty white bitch. A funky white
bitch.
bitch.
She got away with it.
Yeah, she did. Meanwhile, you know what I'm saying, my nigga Cosby and, they did Cosby, they did R. Kelly. Who else did they get?
Well, R. Kelly deserves it. I mean, I knew.
Sure, but I'm saying as far as
the public,
the whole public, just everything.
Yeah,
they're going back in time for so many people. Why didn't they go back in time for her?
Yeah. Well, they had been looking for her.
Because effectively,
they had been looking for her
recently.
Yeah, a coalition.
They knew where the fuck.
Well, I'm not talking about the white people.
Oh, okay.
They were going to different places that they heard she was at.
I wish they would have found her.
They were going to snatch her up and take her to be prosecuted.
Whistle at her goofy ass. Tie her to a tow truck or whatever the fuck. Carolyn Bryant Donham, woman at center of Emmett Till death, dies. I bet you should have been charged with accessory.
She should have died a long time ago.
However, she would have been deleted or unalived. Whoever wrote this, I'm on your side, goddammit. The white woman who accused Black teenager Emmett Till of whistling at and accosting her in Mississippi in 1955, causing his lynching, which galvanized a generation of activists to rise up in the civil rights movement, has died at 88. Carolyn Bryant Donham died in hospice care Tuesday night in Westlake, Louisiana, according to a death report filed Thursday, in the Calcasieu Parish Coroner's Office. Her death marks the last chance for anyone to be held accountable for the kidnapping and murder that shocked the world. Till's mother, Mamie Till Mobley, insisted on an open casket funeral in their hometown of Chicago so the world could see her 14-year-old son's mutilated body, which was pulled from a river in Mississippi. Jet magazine published photos. In August 1955, Till had traveled from Chicago to visit relatives in Mississippi. Donham, then 21 and named Carolyn Bryant, accused them of making improper advances on her at a grocery store where she was working in the small community of Money. What was the name of the city? The Reverend Willard Parker, a cousin of Till who was there, has said Till whistled at the woman, an act that flew in the face of Mississippi's racist social codes of the era. Evidence indicate. I thought they said this, or I thought she said that he did not whistle.
Yeah. That's what she said eventually.
Yeah,
she went with it. For a long time until she said no.
But they said that his cousin said that he whistled at her.
Right. Something's not right. Something's not right.
Listen to him when they lie to him. So they're definitely lying. I'm just saying. Anyway, where we at? Social codes of the era. Evidence indicates a woman identified Till to Donham's then husband, Roy Bryant, and his half-brother J.W. Malam, who killed the teenager. An all-white jury acquitted the two white men in the killing, but the men later confessed in an interview with Look magazine. When Till disappeared in Mississippi, Ollie Gordon, one of Till's cousins, was 7 years old and living in the Chicago home with Till's mother and family. Gordon told the Associated Press on Thursday that in the days after he went missing, the home was full of fear because people knew there was a strong likelihood he had been killed. Gordon said she had mixed emotions about Donham's death. She was never tried in the court of man, Gordon said, but I think she was judged by God, and his wrath is more punitive than any judgment or penalty she could have gotten in a courtroom. I don't think she had a pleasant or happy life. See, that's that turn out the cheek bullshit. I'm sorry to tell you, you know, I personally absolutely disagree with turning the other cheek, especially when it comes to something that shifts
the dynamic of how people in the world,
the entire, it completely shifted our reality here in the U.S. Race relations, our community. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the greatest historical fear mongering events. You know, it was an extreme form of fear mongering. They made it very clear to white people that they could do whatever that they wanted to us without, you know, without recourse. Penalty she could have gotten in a courtroom. I don't think she had a pleasant or happy life. I'm sure she did.
She lived her life.
88-year-old white bitch. She lived, and he's gone. He could still be alive today, technically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was younger than she was. She was like 7 years his senior. You know, he could easily still be alive today. Parker is the last living witness to Till's abduction. He has said in interviews and speeches that he heard Till whistle at the woman working behind the counter at Bryant's Grocery and Meat Market. Days later, Parker saw men kidnap Till in the dark of night from their uncle's home in Mississippi, where the teenagers were staying. Parker said Thursday that his heart goes out to Donna. As a person of faith for more than 60 years, I recognize that any loss of life is tragic and don't have any ill will or animosity toward her, Parker said in a statement. Even though no one now will be held to account for the death of my cousin and best friend, it is up to all of us to be accountable to the challenges we still face in overcoming racial injustice.
Oh my God. Listen, man, there's something ain't right with that.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
You know what I mean? Let alone the kid whistling at a white woman. You know, what kind of behavior is that?
Which, again, she admitted never happened.
Right.
She's on record saying that. White House Press Secretary Jean-Pierre said Thursday that President Joe Biden, Jesus, I gotta keep bringing this nigga up, that President Joe Biden was proud to sign the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act last year to make lynching a federal crime. Just now.
Yeah.
So I want to take a moment, you know, let us all understand, just 2022, for black men and women in the United States of America, lynching just became nationally illegal.
It's the law. Yeah.
Just now. Take note of that. If you think racism doesn't still exist.
Right.
They're doing something. They're fixing it. That doesn't, you know.
But yet and still, when Asians were being assaulted in the same year, not even 5 to 6 months later, they got legislation.
They sure did.
For them.
1955 to now, what is that? 70, 80, we're looking at about 70 years, 70 something. Almost 70. Just shy of 70, 68 years.
Yeah, around 70, yeah.
You know, whatever. Racism don't exist. The president is committed to dealing with racial hatred, Jean-Pierre said. In an unpublished memoir obtained the AP in 2022, Donham said she was unaware of what would happen to Till. She didn't know that nigga was going to get in trouble. She didn't know they was going to kill that nigga.
Right.
Had no idea. Historian and author Timothy Tyson of Durham, North Carolina, provided a copy of the 99-page manuscript, I Am More Than a Wolf Whistle, to AP. He said he received it from Donham while interviewing her in 2008. This bitch got a manuscript, I Am More Than a Wolf Whistle? What the fuck does that even mean? Tyson had placed the manuscript in an archive at the University of North Carolina with the agreement that it not be made public for decades. Though he said he gave it to the FBI during an investigation the agency concluded in 2021, a campus spokesperson said Thursday that the university returned Tyson's materials to him in 2022 because they did not agree on open access to the information. What the fuck could she have written in there?
That he was innocent.
She already said it on camera.
Right, but now it's in writing. You know?
Such bullshit. Tyson said in 2022 that he decided to release the memoir to news outlets after some of Till's relatives and other people doing research at the LaFleur County, Mississippi courthouse in June 2022 found an arrest warrant on kidnapping charges that was issued for Mrs. Roy Bryant in 1955, but never served.
Right. So that's what they've been doing for the past year, man. I saw some footage last year. They went to a home, and they thought that she was there. They were like, "She here?" They were like, "We don't know what you're talking about." Obviously, she was there.
It's bullshit. But they got a warrant. They could have kicked the door in.
Yeah, that's what they were looking to do. But it wasn't cops that you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Civilians.
But they basically, you know, they knew that something needed to be done, and they went ahead and where they watched the paperwork for it, they scrubbed it. Tyson said in a statement Thursday that Donham's precise role in the killing of Till remains murky, but it's clear she was involved. It has comforted America to see this as merely a story of monsters, her among them, Tyson said. What this narrative keeps us from seeing is the monstrous social order that cared nothing for the life of Emmett Till, nor thousands more like him. Well, nigga, you the one who didn't want people to have access to it. Neither the federal government nor the government of Mississippi did anything to prevent or punish this murder. Condemning what Donham did is easier than confronting what America was and is. So is he for the reform or not? Because he handed it over to the university and said he didn't want nobody to have access to it for years to come. Strange. Joe Stidham was born 2 years after Till, his cousin, was killed. Stidham said that older family members protected him and his siblings and didn't tell them about Till's lynching until they were teenagers. Stidham said he wishes he knew how Donham reckoned with her conscience. I do too. But I'm pretty sure she didn't take anything with her. What did she take with her that no one would know other than her and her maker? Stidham told AP on Thursday, "I just hope that no one ever has to go through the pain that our family has endured, mostly the elderly family members who have died." In October, a bronze statue of Till was unveiled in Greenwood, Mississippi, just miles from his uncle's home. Also, last year, members of the new Black Panther Party and other activists began showing up at addresses associated with Donham, including in North Carolina and Kentucky. They were there to serve unofficial warrants for her arrest and trial. Weeks after the unserved arrest warrant was found, the Office of Mississippi Attorney General Lynn Fitch said there was no evidence to pursue a criminal case against Donham. I didn't know about that. In August, the district attorney said in LaFleur County, grand jury declined to indict Donham. Didn't know about that. Till's cousin, Priscilla Sterling, filed a federal lawsuit against the current LaFleur County Sheriff, Ricky Banks, on February 7th, seeking to compel him to serve the 1955 warrant on Donham. In a response, April 13th, Banks' attorney said there was no point serving the warrant because the grand jury did not indict Donham last year. That's crazy. But allegedly there is no, the fuck is it called? Statute of limitations on murder.
That's why they were doing what they were doing.
There's no statute of limitations on murder, but you know what? Nah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Too bad.
No, yeah. We're not going to serve that warrant.
That's insane. Malik Z. Shabazz, one of the attorneys in a lawsuit against Banks, said it's tragic that Mississippi never held Donham accountable. Carolyn Bryant's legacy will be one of dishonesty and injustice, Shabazz said. A legacy that verifies that Mississippi coddles and protects white supremacy.
Until
America. They said federal.
Yeah.
They said federal, not state.
Right.
That's federal. So, not Mississippi coddles and protects white supremacy. America coddles and protects white supremacy.
To this day.
So we very much be definitive on that.
To this day.
Fucking white people, man. Y'all niggas still out there sleeping with white bitches, huh? That's cool. I get it. Not really. But I wanted to, you know, make that segue since we talking about notable deaths of recent, recently. The white bitch died. Funky white bitch. Thank God. She gone. I wish something, you know, more impactful could have happened.
It wasn't going to. It wasn't
not
going
publicly,
to.
no, because that would have shown that white people do have the power to
get away with murder.
Well, I'm saying it would have shown if they had made her, you know, fess up to that and pay for it.
They weren't going to.
Then publicly, that would have been white people letting us know, hey, we can do something about all that we've done to you.
Right.
And they would have also had to acknowledge what it is that they've done.
Yeah, with so many wrongs. You know, when you look at the history of America and the dealings with black people in this country, we've been wronged in such a way where we're owed a lot.
It's almost irreparable.
But that's what I was going to say. It's irreparable. And what happens is this. That's kind of why they had to infiltrate the youth in their minds.
Make them think that none of this ever existed.
Yeah, it didn't happen. Didn't happen. You know,
critical race theory.
It ended with my and your generation, where it's like,
because we're all friends.
Yeah, you know, we're all friends. Hip hop had ushered in this thing where it's like we're all the same, and you know, I can't remember the rapper's name, but he said, "I look out and I see a sea of all different races. You know, there's no racism." I can't remember who it was that said that, but it blew my mind. Maybe I put it out of my mind because of that. But when you know better, you do better.
Absolutely.
And a lot of what's because they just made a movie about Till.
I didn't know that.
And the problem is that they named it Till. They didn't name it Emmett Till.
Yeah, let us all know who he actually is.
Right. You know what I mean? And I thought that was an issue. And even the director and the people involved, they were like, we're not going to really focus on the death. We're just going to talk about the mother's, you know, suffering and what she went through and her story. Made no sense. But that's what's going on. That's what happens a lot, man. You know, with stuff like that. And that's why there'll never be serious change. Or when you see that even when we talked about it, hate crimes against black people still won't be utilized.
No.
We just, you know, that it's just now.
They have to acknowledge the truth.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
Yeah.
Not at a federal level will they acknowledge the actual truth.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. That there's a tremendous hate towards black people. A lot of
stacked against us.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to believe it because, you know, we're cool and, you know, they like what we have until they see the other stuff. And then they don't want to believe that. They don't want to buy that. You know, no, there's no way. You know, I couldn't see anybody, you know, being racist against LeBron James. You know, because that's what they look up to. They don't look up to the average guy walking down the street. He ain't got no rights.
No, well, all black people are like LeBron James.
I guess.
Don't you know that?
I guess.
We're all Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Every single one of us. It's fucked up, man.
I believe that there has to be a stronger force of the black community encouraging, empowering, and educating.
Well, we have to maintain it.
Yeah.
It being our history.
Yeah.
Our reality here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, imagine being in a war and not knowing that there's a war going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mm-hmm.
The kids are sitting in our kids, excuse me, are sitting in a proverbial burning house, and they think that everything is cool.
Mm-hmm.
We're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, none of this, all of that stuff is old. What are y'all old heads talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not that we're attempting to fuel the fire of racism and keep something around that is so dastardly that it shouldn't even be spoken about because it doesn't exist. It's that you're being told that it doesn't exist, and then we still have shit happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the young man who got shot in the face, and then so many other things. You know, we've covered plenty of stories. You hear about plenty of stories. You've seen plenty of stories. You know, so it's not that old heads are holding on to something that just needs to be let go. I don't want our young children to be a part of a war that they don't know is happening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Starts in the family home, man. It starts. Listen, we're gonna talk about this historic figure. This film has been out, and of course the people behind the film have done a bad job with getting the word out about it. The odd thing about it is when you look at stuff like this, right? You don't understand that this is how we can empower, because media is a very powerful format. It's a very powerful thing. And granted, you know, there's always liberties taken on biographical films. The problem that I have is a film like this, when it came to Women King, you know, the Woman King,
it had the whole machine behind it.
Especially the community. Black women would take it. I took all my kids to see it. I took my sons to see The Woman King. I took my whole family to see it. We went and saw it twice.
Teach her son what a female warrior looks
Right,
like.
right. But here you have a man who existed. You have a lot of historical background on him. Like you can't mess his story up because there's historical proof. It's not like The Woman King where you had to make up different characters. Yeah, they had to make up those characters. A lot of those characters were made up. Yeah, it was true that it was an African culture that they had based it on.
But there's undeniable integrity associated.
Absolutely.
Undeniable historical integrity.
Absolutely.
Associated with
to where they couldn't go too far off of it. You know, they couldn't do a Braveheart and really, you know what I mean? Like they had to go through, okay, this is what happened and this is what, and you don't see anybody talking about it at all.
I didn't even hear about it.
Yeah. You don't see anybody. And I had went on Facebook and said, there hasn't been any type of marketing, blah, blah, blah. People was like, I've seen trailers. And so I realized that it's demographic and it's also regional, where they're talking about it and stuff like that. But the problem is if you don't have the community behind it, it won't make a difference. I mean, people were renting out full theaters.
Niggas been jumping up and down about Black Panther or fictional characters.
Yes, full theaters. This man right here, this nigga was almost a fucking superhero. Yeah. The shit that he was able to do.
Especially considering the circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah. So before we show anything, let's go to the Wikipedia so we can get an idea who this man was.
Sure.
All right, because y'all gotta know, I was blown away when I first found out about him years ago. But then just looking it up again was just like, man, Joseph Bologne, Chevalier de Saint George, was born on the 25th of December, 1745, and he died on the 9th of June, 1799. He was a French champion fencer. Now, you know anything about fencing? I did fencing when they had programs in New York. I did fencing. Yeah. For a man to be a champion fencer, because women are built for fencing, their whole body structure. But for a man to be a champion fencer, it's the highest prestige that you can have at that time. Yeah. He was a French champion fencer, a violinist, and a composer, a Creole free man of color. Let's look at the date again, 1745. He was the earliest European musician composer of African descent to receive widespread critical acclaim. He published numerous string quartets, sonatas, symphonies, and stage works. St. George was born in the then French colony of Guadeloupe, the son of a wealthy married planter, Georges de Boulogne, St. George, and an enslaved Senegalese woman, African woman named Nanon. At the age of 7, he was taken to France for his education. So, his father was white, okay, French, and his mom was Senegalese, African. At the age of 7, he was taken to France for his education. From the age of 13, he trained at horse riding, fencing, and dancing. So we just added on what this cat was able to do. 2 years later, he beat the strongest fencer and was appointed Gendarme de la Garde by King Louis. What is that? 16. King Louis 16. So he beat the strongest fencer in France. This is a black man. Went over there and said, no. Let me show you.
Went over there and got jiggy.
Got jiggy with it. He is believed to have received music and composition lessons from Francois Joseph Gossec. In 1769, he joined a new symphony orchestra, Le Concert des Amateurs, consisting of amateurs and professionals, and founded by Gossec. 2 years later, he was appointed concert master and started composing. Do you understand the gravity of that? In 2 years, it was old men that would have to wait to get that title. In 1773, he was appointed the orchestra's conductor. God damn.
That's powerful.
In 1776, while we were over here fighting, America was going through it, he was proposed as the next conductor of the Paris Opera, but was subsequently denied his role because he was a person of color. So, they wouldn't give him his justice and his justification of what he deserved because of his skin color. See, so melanin, people don't realize, undeniably the best.
By King Louis.
By King Louis.
You know, which he's just a white man with a crown.
Right.
As far as what that meant in the world, socially. You know, he was that taken aback.
Bro.
That astonished.
Bro.
That astounded by this young man.
He was like the prince of his time, man. After Le Concert, the amateurs disbanded in 1781, he joined a new orchestra formed by a Masonic lodge that was called Le Concert de la Loge Olympique. He stopped composing instrumental works altogether in 1784. He said, fuck y'all, I'm done. That's 3 years later. Following the 1789 outbreak of the French Revolution and approaching 45 years of age, St. George served as a colonel of the Legion St. George.
Wow, and he just doing all kinds of
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Established in 1792, which comprised citizens of color. After the defection of, so when the French Revolution happened, they killed her, right? After they killed her, that's when he lost everything because he was part of the court, and that's what gave him a lot of his power. But after that, man, they just took everything from him. After the defection of Dumouriez and execution of Philippe Egalite in 1793, he became a victim of the Reign of Terror and was imprisoned. Okay, so after they killed her, they killed that bitch, right? The revolution happened, he lost everything. Losing his military position and the dissolving of the Legion, he enjoyed the cafes, shops, and theaters around the Palais Royal. He died in Paris in 1799. So 6 years later, he died. St. George's life and career is the subject of the 2022 biographical film Chevalier, in which he's portrayed by Kelvin Harrison Jr.
You think he actually just died?
Well, I think it said he died of something.
He's 53.
Yeah, he you know, and that's
kind of a long life.
Yeah, it's a long life for them at that time, which sucked to die. To us, that's young. But he had an interesting life, man.
He had to have been a Mason.
Probably was. Probably was.
Had to been. And probably not a Prince Hall Mason.
No,
An actual Mason.
An actual Mason. Yeah. But he had it. I mean,
from 1793 to 99, for him to go to prison and then get out, that's pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was quite quick.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's very interesting, man, to see someone who lived that type of rich ass life and accomplished all of that.
So much in such a short span of time. Again, we got to consider the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a nigga wasn't allowed to drink water in the same.
Yeah.
He damn near can't breathe in the same area as a white motherfucker.
He was part of the court, whooping ass in fencing. That's the thing that really got me. And from what the film shows, man, they show him like getting it in. Getting it. Of course, they dramatize it. You know? But fencing,
but he probably really was outrageous.
Yeah. Yeah. The level of discipline that it takes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why you meet a lot of fencers that they are arrogant. They're very arrogant because the level of discipline is, you know, in sword and when you're dealing with sword play, there's a level of arrogance that comes with it because of the discipline. And so he was horseback riding, making concertos and I mean, wow, you know what I mean? That's impressive, man. And so they would rather take their kids to see The Woman King. You're going to take your son to get inspired by The Woman King, but you will not go and rent out a whole theater. See, I wish I had the money because I'd be done rent out a whole theater.
Pick up these kids.
Get a whole, little nappy head kids, take them to go watch Chevalier. They want to watch Chevalier. To see a young black man show everybody that, we're so much better than what you're saying we are. Like, don't get it twisted. Yeah. No, they rather Woman King, the black man is the threat. It ain't even the white man. See, with this movie, they're showing the truth.
Even in retrospect, thinking about it, nigga, that's got to be at least be a 3-hour movie because that is a lot of shit to fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of shit to fit into one life, or into a film about one life. That is a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah. Interesting
dude. Very interesting dude.
I mean, the French were the immaculate fencers. Like England couldn't touch them. Spain couldn't touch them. The French. And he beat the top dude. That's impressive as hell to me.
And again, the fact, I can't reiterate enough, man. Consider the circumstances.
Right.
God damn.
All the adversity that was up against him.
Or the king had to say, I know he's a nigga, but you know what I'm saying? Ain't none of y'all beat him. I don't know what we supposed to say. Give him his flowers. Give him his just dues.
So it stars Kelvin. Listen, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, please go support this film. Chevalier's Kelvin Harrison Jr., who's a brilliant actor. If you've seen him in anything, man, I love the guy. Everything I've watched him in, and I'm very pro Black American actors anyway, because they're quick to always say, the British actors are better, which is bullshit. But this young brother came up on the scene, and I sent him a message one time. He responded back and was like, "Man, thank you. I appreciate that." Because we need to support each other. But Chevalier's Kelvin Harrison Jr. on breathing life into a forgotten prince of Marie Antoinette's royal court. So once she died, that was it. If you know anything about the French Revolution, she was a nightmare. She told them, they said the people are starving. She said, "Let them eat cake." If that's not a white girl response.
If you know anything about that, I'll put the name of it in the comments.
Chevalier. Harrison reveals how hard he fought for the role, what kind of preparation was needed, and how he processed the lingering prejudices of the era. Again, how he processed the lingering prejudices of the era. Yeah, there you go. All right. Since his feature film debut and Steve McQueen's Best Picture winning 12 Years a Slave, Kelvin Harrison Jr. has amassed an incredible filmography. Now listen, he's done so much more since that movie. I don't know why they used 12 Years a Slave.
Well,
this is the second time. This is the second time we've seen this in an article. Kelvin Harrison Jr. has amassed an incredible filmography of award-winning performances with visionary filmmakers and alongside Oscar-winning actors. If you've seen a movie called Luke, or Luce, L-U-C-E, you'll see that he was phenomenal in that. An incredible filmography of award-winning performances with visionary filmmakers and alongside Oscar-winning actors. No stranger to being the first name on the call sheet despite his young age, Harrison has starred in several Oscar-nominated features, including 3 Best Picture nominees, The Trial of the Chicago 7, Elvis, 12 Years a Slave, coming off his noteworthy performance playing blues legend B.B. King in Elvis, which was an alright film. It wasn't that great, but it was an alright film. His blues legend B.B. King in Elvis, it would seem his current role as the Chevalier Bourgeonnet is not just a role he was destined to play, but one that he's been preparing and fighting for his entire career. A former conservatory student and musician in his own right, the New Orleans native stars in the biographical drama Chevalier, directed by Stephen Williams and written by Stefani Robinson of Atlanta fame. This is the first big screen adaptation to focus on the French Caribbean musician Joseph Bologne, Chevalier de St. George, a true Renaissance man whose incredible journey from the Caribbean to the Parisian aristocracy is in many ways stranger than fiction. Born to an enslaved woman and a titled member of that's the word. Bougie. Bologne was a musical prodigy, a world-renowned fencer, and no stranger to a duel. Educated with the aristocracy but of mixed race, he was oftentimes at odds with the status quo. He was centuries ahead of the social political curve, though in truth he was the early embodiment of an adage long held by those of the colonial African diaspora. He had to be twice as good to get half as much. Yeah. The new certified fresh feature about his life, which premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival last year, also stars Minnie Driver, Lucy Bonton, and Samara Weaving. Yes, that's Hugo Weaving's daughter. Niece. Hugo Weaving's daughter, Samara Weaving, as a trio of women who shaped his formative years. Set for wider release this weekend, we recently sat down with Harrison and chatted about Chevalier, the incredible story of his life, the daunting preparation, and how the musician Prince was the blueprint for a man who transcended his meager beginnings on a Caribbean plantation to join the court of Louis XVI. Wow. Yeah, so if you ain't got nothing else better to do this weekend, go see this film. Go support it. If you have young boys in your family, young black boys specifically, take them to go see this, man. Even if they may not want to see it, I'm pretty sure some of them didn't want to go see Women King.
If you white and you want to atone,
they're the ones that's always supporting this.
You know what I'm saying?
One of my friends said he was in the theater. There was 30 white people and maybe 4 blacks.
Take your white kids.
Support the film. Check it out. Pass me that mouse real quick.
Yeah.
We'll turn this music down, but you gotta.
It's muted already.
It's muted already?
Oh, well, it was muted. Okay. Yeah, no, it was muted.
Okay. Yeah. See some of this stuff here.
Now, if you're on YouTube, you'll see the excellence of my nigga. What was his first name?
Joseph. Yeah.
Joseph.
The boy has talent, but one in particular that is exceptional. Very well.
They got them stupid ass
The wigs, man. It's always fun to see the black people with them wearing them.
I mean, they were part of the times. I get it.
Working. Look at him. Working. See, he's like, what?
Too quick.
The show-off who spoiled Mozart's concerts.
Yes, white bitch. You know what I'm saying?
But you can get an idea. I mean, when we look at all of the musicians of our time, of our current day, people like Prince, Michael Jackson, and what they had to do. They always had to work extra hard. They had to work double hard. It's kind of like what the article said. This brother was doing stuff before Mozart even came on the scene.
Yeah.
Full orchestras. He's conducting and, writing symphonies and stuff like that, man. And they won't give this brother his flowers in regards to just, making the film to where it's not going to be a loss. 'Cause, we can't make movies like that. Your own people don't go to see it.
Not showing niggas in a positive light.
Right, yeah, no.
Let's not do that.
No. We're gonna give you 5 more seasons of
I don't know.
what do you call it? That
Power
show. Not Power. There's
something worse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. What's the name of that damn show? What's the name of that damn show? The strippers in the Delta in Mississippi. The strippers
I don't know what's going on.
P Valley.
Oh,
yeah. We're gonna give you 5 more seasons of P Valley because that's what y'all want.
They be tripping with that shit too.
Oh man, that's what y'all want. That's how you want to see your black males. That's how you want to see the women. But the black community came in mass. Black Panther. Black Panther and
fictional.
Yeah.
Let's give us something actually real,
King.
something somebody can go research and say, wow, this is what we were doing,
Yeah, and on colleges, remember Lay was saying on colleges they had a full theater booking on Black Panther, but they won't, or Woman King was one of those, but they won't show Chevalier. Colleges, all of the, if anything, what I'm saying, they should be showing that.
I agree.
Nope.
Listen, guys, it's been so eventful here, playing playing pop culture with you all.
Yeah.
But goddamn it, it's 9:55. Alright? And as much fun as we've had, I think it's about that time.
What did they say?
Something about little they're booking the Little Mermaid at your college.
She said, leave me out of it.
It is what it is.
They booking the Little Mermaid. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
All trash that don't mean nothing to the black community.
Because little black girls gotta see themselves as a black fucking mermaid.
Not as a real person who did something, who achieved something, who accomplished something attainable.
To say I can do that too. Because that would be my objective.
To me, that would be representation.
Yeah, absolutely. Hell
I don't give a fuck about seeing a black anime character and superheroes and all of that silly shit. Let's do something real, man. We need something attainable.
Well,
something you can actually reach out and grab.
The black mermaid, she got to get the white prince.
Yeah, that's crazy too. Look, man. We ain't got enough time to get me started on that.
They cool with that.
Well, on our way out, I do want to say, in conjunction with the 4 generations of kings,
no doubt,
my cousin Matthew's nephew, who I guess effectively would still be my cousin, right? Mm-hmm. He just dropped an album today. His name is Johnny Rollaway.
Oh,
he's on Instagram.
Nice name.
I think that's a cool name. But Johnny Rollaway, man, he just dropped an album today called Johnny Cash, and happy birthday to him. Today's his birthday.
Happy birthday to you, Johnny Rollaway.
First official album drop, Johnny Rollaway. The name of the album is Johnny Cash on all streaming platforms. So again, check them out, Pacific Sunrise, or go to Johnny Rollaway's Instagram and find everything that you need to find there in order to, number 1, get a hold of that album, and number 2, go and support them. Buy some of these. I don't know where they got the material for these shirts, man. But this, I done watched this motherfucker a few times, and it still look brand new. You know what I'm saying? So.
Shout out to our colorist, Cody, Color by Cody,
sir,
who is making our short look phenomenal. The color is officially done tonight, and I can't wait for y'all to see this man's performance. Honestly, like the first time out the gate acting,
that's what they say.
It's like
that's what I've been told. I don't know.
The gift is to be able to be a part of someone's career, man. In the very beginning, when they didn't even know that they can do it, man, and this man did it. In 6 hours, we did a shoot. So
I promise not to end up like the dude who's playing the Rizzo on the Wu-Tang show. I promise.
Or Jonathan Majors.
Or Jonathan. I'm not gonna do none of that. I won't be fucking with no white bitches. You feel me? I'm gonna go ahead and be extremely pro-black, and if I get a role,
he'll do his work and his due diligence. He's got me, so he's always gonna be good in that.
We'll be well. So. Well,
coming soon.
Y'all niggas have a happy weekend and all of that jazz. It's been a hell of a week.
Yeah.
Thank everybody for tuning in.
No doubt. Have a great weekend, guys.
I didn't even cue the music up properly. That'd have been great. All right, y'all. Later. Oh, now it ain't ready. Now it's gonna play me.
Muscles on his lonely back. I stay calm.
He said I was playing. What are you talking about?
They never call me that. Please keep it short. I don't speak for all the rap. I'm your mechanic. I don't want the parts of whack. Keep throwing darts and wax. I'ma melt you. Every beat got a birthday. I just make it special. If you can't impress,
what is it?
Maybe we can do that. Check and bring the doses and show you where your shoes at. Exactly where the proof at. I ain't got proof stats. I don't need the hookup. I've been staying blue black. Straight from where the news at. Life science showcase. Story I survived. Made my most damn. Paint me what I broke down. Imagine it. I'm a broken canvas. Making the show more passionate. Asking why he smashing shit. I'm just practicing so I can get it in when it's out. Ain't no accidents, for real.
Absolutely.
Please stop the BS, for real is on purpose, for real.
Everything I do.
I do this for real.
So I got that up.
I do this for real.
Man, gotta get my trademark shit together.
Please stop the BS, for real is on purpose, for real.
Drop this motherfucker.
I do this for real.
These were counter streams.
I do this for real.
What's that?
Every time it plays.
Please stop the BS, for real is on purpose. Focus on doing this right. I'm candle with disposable thumbs, I ain't dumb. I aim in pill temple with the seal bar smothering niggas. Composition war ready, I've been blundering niggas. Ain't no wonder with niggas. I'm filthy, but the props can't do what you watching me doing, bitch.